Happening now, firefighters brave brittle temperatures to knock down an early morning blaze. Hear the troubles they ran into while trying to get water to the scene. And Congressman Tom Reed blasts New York's redistricting process. How will this impact your vote at the polls this fall? Plus, we're reflecting on the life of Bob Saget. Hear how the National Comedy Center in Jamestown is keeping his memory alive.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. The latest local news is coming up, but first let's get a check of our weather forecast. And boy, oh boy, was it a cold one out there today. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us live now with a first look at that. Hello, Dakota.
Hello, Justin, and happy Tuesday to all of you. And boy, it was a chilly start to the day today. We'll talk about those a little bit later on. But notice the lake effect snow machine has shut down. So there's no snow out there right now, and it's going to remain that way through the day. Wanted to take you through the snow totals because Randolph in Cattaraugus County, 10 inches. That was the spotter observed snowfall total that we got in from the Weather Service. 6.2 inches in Cattaraugus, 4.3 in Jamestown, 4 inches in Olean, and 1.3 inches in Mayville. So again, you can see where that lake effect snow was really concentrated Sunday and Monday. So another cold day today. Scattered light flurries will be possible through the afternoon hours, but still a biting wind chill. 14 on the hills to 20 at the Lake Erie shoreline with a southwest wind. Now we'll talk about the lowest wind chill numbers that we had this morning, plus more Arctic air will be on the way. We'll talk about it in detail, that Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day forecast later on in the show, Justin.
All right, Dakota, we'll see you then. Fire crews confronted Arctic-like wind chills while working to knock down a house fire in the village of Fredonia this morning. Crews were called to 111 Center Street around 6 a.m. Initial reports from the scene indicate firefighters had issues accessing water from hydrants due to the bitter cold. At that time, the feels-like temperature in the village was -1 degrees. As a result, additional aid was called to the scene, with crews from the city of Dunkirk, among several others, responding to provide needed water. Tankers to fight the flames. Chautauqua County EMS also responded to the scene there. Now, it's unclear if there were any injuries reported as a result of the weather and/or the fire. Chautauqua County's fire investigators are now working to determine a cause. A 51-year-old hunter is accused of shooting his gun at a deer and striking a home in the town of Carroll. Carroll police say the hunter, identified as Mark Finale, was hunting on private property off of Warren Road when he fired at the animal back in December. The bullet, police said, missed the deer and struck a home across the street. Investigators report the bullet entered a child's bedroom before ricocheting off a wall and becoming lodged in the bedroom's door. Luckily, no one was home at the time of the shooting and no one was injured. Finale has since been charged with discharging a firearm across a public highway by the state DEC. And there is a renewed push to halt a project that would reshape a popular intersection in our region with a roundabout. Erie News Now's Kristen Allen has more on the concerns from residents in Warren about this project.
Market Street and Pennsylvania Avenue in the city of Warren. According to PennDOT, it's one of the busiest intersections in town, with more than 12,000 cars, trucks, and buses passing through each day.
Noted as an intersection that could stand to be improved.
That's why 8 years ago, PennDOT began drawing up this plan for a Market Street roundabout, encompassing both Pennsylvania Avenue and Water Street. But now, community members and several members of City Council say they're not on board.
I find it utterly disgraceful for our town to consider wasting that much money.
Sit down there at that corner 3 or 4 different times for like 2 and 3 hours at a time watching the traffic. I've never seen more than 6 cars backed up at any one of the traffic lights.
The Market Street project is 80% federally funded and 20% state funded. Already, $1.5 million have gone into design and engineering costs. Despite the backlash now, the city of Warren actually commissioned PennDOT for a roundabout at this intersection back in 2015. And so many years into the process, PennDOT says it's too late to back out now.
If there was a way to compensate the department for the money expended, would the department still move forward? Is this solely an issue of the money expended?
We are 100% moving forward with it, and that we wouldn't entertain the potential for payback at this point.
Kristen Allen, Erie News Now.
Kristen, thank you. Overall, the project will cost more than $3.5 million. The only person who could overrule PennDOT's decision would be the Secretary of Transportation. And one of the biggest goals that Jamestown City Council President Tony Dulce has for the 2022 year is to disperse the city's American Rescue Plan funding. The council began that journey last night, approving multiple resolutions to fund various projects. One of the resolutions will allow the Jamestown Fire Department to allocate $10,000 towards a Knox box system. Fire Chief Matthew Kuhn demonstrated what the system does during the meeting. He says that the system will be beneficial to both businesses and commercial owners, as well as the fire department in storing extra sets of keys to buildings. Mayor Eddie Sundquist previously said that the fire department would be able to enter a commercial building easier in the event of a fire and/or other emergency there. The council will next meet on the 24th for another work session where they'll likely discuss and vote on other ARPA-related projects. Well, several new options to get tested for COVID-19 are underway in Chautauqua County, with take-home distribution happening in the Jamestown area this week. City leaders announced yesterday that they'll be giving away 500 rapid test kits at 5 sites around town. Each site will have 100 testing kits total, with recipients receiving 2 tests in each kit. Masks, hand sanitizer, and information about COVID will also be included. On Wednesday, the Prendergast Library will have kits starting at 1 o'clock. JCC parking lot near the Science Building will have kits from 3 to 4. And kits will also be available at Purcell Middle School's Baker Street bus loop from 5 to 6. Then on Thursday, city leaders will distribute the remaining kits at the Christ First United Methodist Church from 3 to 4 and Allen's Park Ice Rink parking lot from 5 to 6. Sites will remain open until all the kits are given away. Now, countywide, New York State is hosting a testing site at SUNY Fredonia's Jewett Hall on Thursday. Walk-ins are welcome from 8:30 to 4, Monday through Friday. Appointments can also be made online. We have a link to that and more at WNYNewsNow.com. Well, as WNY News Now continues, we hear from our rep in Congress as the statewide redistricting process moves forward, how he says the state's decision will impact your vote. And later in the deets on a new program to help pay for your internet bill here in New York. Stay with us as WNY News Now will be right back.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Brought to you by the Chautauqua Safety Village and the Jamestown Fire Department.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Outgoing Congressman Tom Reed is blasting what he calls the hypocrisy of the Democrat-controlled legislature as they continue to establish new congressional boundaries in New York State. Reid recently held a press conference in Faulkner to discuss infrastructure, and during that he explained how he's endorsing Joe Sempileski, a former district director, for the congressman to replace him. The Republican, however, says that he suspects the state will have even fewer GOP reps due to gerrymandering.
The hypocrisy on display by this partisan politics of Albany is staggering to me. A party, the Democratic Party, that's supposedly against gerrymandering across the country, but not in our backyard of New York when it means the difference of being able to secure the majority in the House if it comes down to the seats they're going to draw here in New York. I mean, the governor talked about it publicly, that she was going to use the power of her office and the legislature to help the Democratic Party stay in control of the U.S. House of Representatives by the gerrymandered maps of New York.
Now, Reid says he'll continue to stick with his self-imposed 12-year term limit in office. President Biden is renewing his push for new voting rights measures. A Senate vote could come this week, and Biden is making it a key part of his trip to Atlanta, where he's set to deliver a major speech on the issue. Reid Binion reports.
The time has come to act to defend democracy and protect voting rights, even if it means changing Senate rules.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer speaking on the Senate floor Monday, one day ahead of President Joe Biden's planned speech in Atlanta, where Biden will push for voting rights legislation. Congressional Democrats and the White House say there's an urgent need to safeguard free and fair elections in the U.S.
The only way to do that are for the Senate to pass the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act.
Biden strongly in favor of those two measures, which come after a slew of new laws in many Republican-led states that Democrats say are aimed at making it harder to vote, and as partisan loyalists are installed on election boards. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says that isn't true.
If you actually read the legislation that's been passed, it's clearly not the case.
McConnell also says Democrat-backed voting rights legislation is a power grab.
I think this is an excuse to try to break the Senate.
That likely a reference to changing filibuster rules, which is what Democrats would have to do to eliminate the 60-vote threshold and pass the voting rights bills with a simple majority. Biden is prepared to back that move, but Senate Democrats would need the support of every member of their caucus to do it, and two senators are likely to remain opposed, Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona and Joe Manchin of West Virginia.
Bipartisanship takes more than a 51-vote threshold.
I'm Reid Binion reporting.
Reid, thank you. Governor Kathy Hochul has announced an initiative to encourage eligible New Yorkers to sign up for the federal government's Affordable Connectivity Program. It is a newly launched program that provides discounts of up to $30 per month towards internet services for low-income families. Hochul aims to make sure that low-income families not only receive affordable coverage, but have easy access to it. In addition to the $30 a month in assistance, financially eligible households could also receive a one-time discount of up to $100 to help purchase a laptop, desktop computer, or tablet. And truck drivers heading across the Canadian border will now be required to show proof of their COVID-19 vaccination. Canada's Public Health Agency says any foreign national truck driver who does not give proof of vaccination cannot cross into Canada. A survey by the American Trucking Association says that about 50% of drivers are vaccinated. Another survey found that around 60% of the unvaccinated don't plan on getting the shot at all. The president of the Roars Logistics says that 2/3 of freight that goes between the U.S. and Canada is by land, and that the mandate is happening too quickly. Drivers aren't the only ones who are going to be impacted. Those with the UB School of Management say the move could drive up the costs for Canadians as well as create delays for Americans who like to use Canada as a shortcut. The border agency says they will continue to monitor wait times and adjust staffing accordingly to help minimize any delays. Truck drivers have to either enter their vaccination information on CanDrive to be able to enter. Well, coming up, we tell you about the latest Starbucks chain that's in our region that is voted to unionize. And later, we're reflecting on the life of comedian Bob Saget, what those with the National Comedy Center here in Jamestown have to say about his legacy in that art. But when we return, a full look at our weather forecast. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Remember when you were a kid, huddled around the television waiting for your school to close? Well, we don't get snow days. When winter weather hits, count on the First Defense Weather Team for a look into the future where the snow is headed next. Live radar showing you the scope of the storm. And real-time reports from the field. So when it matters most, stay with First Defense Weather.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
All right, welcome back. Did you have to turn the heated seats on in your car when you went to work this morning? Take a look at the low temperatures this morning. 6 here in town, 3 in Randolph, also in Bradford, 6 there, 7 in Warren, 10 in Fredonia. How about 1 in Olean, Zadol in Delavan in the hills of Cattaraugus County? But these were the low temperatures, the actual air temperatures. The wind chill was worse. And again, the wind chill is the air temperature plus the wind combined together, which gives you the feels like temperature. 16 below is what it felt like this morning in Delavan, 12 below in Olean, 12 below in Jamestown, 11 below in Randolph, and 4 below in Frewsburg. Oh, man, it was bone-chilling cold out there, and we've got a little bit more of it on the way. So right now, HG News Now, Cam, lots of clouds. We've seen a little flurry at times. 10 is right now where we're at the Jamestown Airport as a noon hour. The wind is light, so that means the wind chill is 10 as well. So it's not too bad, but we are going to be dealing with a little bit of a wind chill through the afternoon hours. As the wind starts to pick up through the afternoon hours, we're going to be dealing with more of a wind chill. So again, near zero wind chill again through the afternoon today. Some spots may dip below zero once again today, but the wind chill lessens tomorrow. That is the good news. You can see here the wind chills will likely be in the lower teens. This is still cold, but understand it's not going to be that Arctic cold that we've dealt with over the past 24 hours. So a live look at First Defense Doppler. Wanted to show you this because, again, you see a few of these little specky little snow showers here. Again, these are mainly snow flurries, and they really don't show up very well. But again, you can see that this is not snow here. This is the wind farm in Arkwright that's coming back on the radar. But these little specks you see is mainly just flurry-type snow showers, and that's what we're going to deal with through the afternoon hours today. Front has moved on through, which is continuing to keep the cold air in place, but high pressure starting to build in now. Actually, you can see this cloud cover right here. All these clouds indicate the Arctic air that has moved in. So how's that for you? Nice little high resolution satellite imagery. So let's take you through future scan here. The clouds should part through at least early this evening, going partly cloudy for a period. Then the clouds return going into tomorrow. Do think tomorrow should be mainly dry, but we will keep the chance for at least an isolated rain or snow shower in the forecast through the afternoon hours tomorrow. But as we go through the day on Thursday, we're going to see more snow showers returning, and some of it could be in the form of lake effect once again. But at this point, we're not expecting any major accumulations out of that on Thursday. So let's take you into the zone forecast. Temperatures through the afternoon, likely upper teens. This might be overdone. We may stay way below this in the lower teens today with wind chills 0 to 10 above. Now the next 7 days of your life are flying up on the screen. Got 32 for tomorrow, so not as harsh. Scattered snow showers again Thursday, partial sun on Friday. There's the Arctic air returning into the weekend and into early next week, and yeah, that Arctic air will start to get reinforced, but you know, it's January, it's supposed to be cold.
Ooh, still bone chilling, Dakota, thank you. A second Starbucks store near Buffalo has voted to unionize, one of the growing number of coffee chain stores seeking to organize their workers. Workers at the store in Cheektowaga voted 15-9 in favor of representation by United Workers, an affiliate of the Service Employees International Union. Now, the National Labor Relations Board confirmed the vote Monday. Starbucks is evaluating its options and might appeal. A spokesperson for the company explains that they had 10 business days to file an appeal to the full labor board. If the appeal is denied, it must bargain with the union there. Now, last month, Starbucks workers voted to unionize in a store in downtown Buffalo, making that store one of the first to unionize in Starbucks' 50-year history. And Republicans sued Monday to prevent non-citizens from voting in New York City elections under a new local law. The law allows more than 800,000 non-citizens and dreamers in New York City to vote in municipal elections as early as next year. They still cannot vote for president or members of Congress in federal races or in state elections that pick the governor, judges, and legislators. New York Republican Chairman Nick Langworthy said a group of Republican elected officials in New York filed the suit in court on Staten Island, seeking to block the law and declare it unconstitutional. Now, legally documented voting age non-citizens comprise of nearly 7 million voting age inhabitants in the city. Well, a deadly fire in the Bronx. At least 17 people are dead in a tragedy that marks one of New York's worst fires in modern history. Isabel Rosales reports on the malfunction firefighters believe sparked the whole thing and serious safety questions now being raised about the building.
Growing questions, zeroing in on the rapid spread of this deadly Bronx apartment fire.
I've never seen nothing like this before.
At least 17 people were killed Sunday. About half of them were children.
This is a global tragedy. Everyone is feeling the pain of what we are experiencing.
Authorities say dozens more are hurt, including some fighting for their lives. Survivors describe their harrowing escape in a building with no exterior fire escapes.
I panicked and I told my husband, let me in the house. I can't see. I'm blind. I can't see. I can't see. If I stayed out there another 3 seconds, I would have been gone too.
Fire crews believe a malfunctioning space heater is to blame.
This is a wake-up call for all of our buildings.
The fire commissioner investigating whether fire alarms and a self-closing fire door worked as planned.
The Bronx is no stranger to deadly fires.
Congressman Richie Torres says this fire in his district underscores the need for federal investment in affordable housing.
When we disinvest from housing, we are putting tenants' lives at risk.
He insists the Bronx will overcome despite this unthinkable tragedy.
What do you tell a mother who lost her children? The two values that matter most to all of us are our family and our homes. And to lose both in the span of a single tragedy is terrifying and traumatic.
I'm Isabel Rosales reporting.
Isabel, heartbreaking there. Thank you for sharing that with us. Next, we hear from those with the National Comedy Center here in Jamestown as they reflect on the life and legacy of comedian Bob Saget. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer. She's on the honor roll. She's just not the type.
No way.
No way. No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping.
maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working.
I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this. You will find something.
You will find something new.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
The comedy world lost another legend this week after actor and stand-up comedian Bob Saget passed away in Florida on Sunday. Our Julia Gress is hearing from the executive director of the National Comedy Center about the legacy Saget leaves behind, saying that his career is one of many.
To transition from a sitcom character that is one of the most recognizable to a stand-up persona that was distinctly different, which is rare.
Bob Saget's career began playing wholesome father Danny Tanner on the ABC sitcom Full House. National Comedy Center director Journey Gunderson describes his later stand-up career as bold, provocative, and boundary-pushing, which she says allowed him to earn the respect of his comedic peers.
One of the things you can observe from all of the outpouring of tributes online is that people often cite how supportive he was of them. And so when we reflect on his contribution to comedy, it's not just his own humor, his own unique voice, but how he influenced so many others.
Saget also hosted ABC's America's Funniest Home Videos, putting him in 2 top 10 TV shows at the same time. Gunderson praised his hosting skills, saying his voiceover character work enhanced an already funny show.
Visitors to the National Comedy Center can enjoy and reflect on Saget's work in every exhibit, from the art of the roast, highlighting his talent in insult comedy, to our sitcom and television area with Full House, to the stand-up lounge, highlighting his live onstage persona.
Saget and fellow comedy titan Betty White are featured in the NCC's Sense of Humor quiz that each visitor takes upon arrival to the center. The center's hopes to increase Saget's presence by digging through the archives with media exhibits, as well as artifacts that showcase highlights of the legend's career.
Bob Saget wasn't just talented and creative in the creative sense, he had the mechanics of comedy. So he had great timing, cadence, and delivery. And that served him well in the sitcom genre as well as on stage.
Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. And Dakota, the National Comedy Center tells us they'll be honoring Betty White's centennial coming up on January 17th through an exhibit that will allow different generations to understand the talent that was. And that's the thing. You look at it, the last 2 weeks for comedy has been really, really rough between White and Saget. Let us know what you think about this and more at WNY News Now on social media. I know Betty White, Dakota, she was a big influence on you. And for me, I grew up watching Bob Saget on Full House, and
so did
even
I.
just recently on Fuller House with that relaunch. So it really was a shock to hear that he had passed away. And definitely he did shape comedy, and he had quite the successful career, as Julia explained to us.
Yeah, I mean, my dad wasn't a huge fan of Full House, but I mean, I liked it, so it's like, I watched it, and also, I think I was a little kid kind of when he hosted AFV,
right?
But they used to show the reruns of the Bob Saget AFV, and so I can say that as a 90s baby, I watched both Full House and his America's Funniest Home Videos.
And I think when you look at comedy like that, it really touches so many people because he had the attention, which is kind of rare in 2 prime time settings, so to speak. And I almost feel like those days might be gone now with streaming, right? Everybody is in their own world depending on what genres they like. But in that era, that time, you had to watch it on television. And he had 2 prime time spots that really connected with Americans.
And then plus, I think AFV was always an ABC show, wasn't it?
Yes, yes.
So that right there put him in 2 prime time slots on the same network.
Right.
Because I think Full House was also ABC.
I believe so. So very, very impressive. That's for sure. So, well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. We'll leave you with this look over Chautauqua Lake. Have a wonderful day and be sure to stay warm.